There is a train station in Spain that cost hundreds of millions of euros to build. On some days, it serves fewer than 10 passengers. 10. And yet, that same country built the longest high-speed rail network in all of Europe. More track than France, more track than Germany, more track than Japan. How does that happen? How does a country build the biggest, fastest, most ambitious train system in the world and somehow still get it wrong? And how did France, building less, spending less, connecting fewer cities, end up with a system the entire world is now trying to copy? Today, we are going inside Spain's AVE and France's TGV, the two greatest train systems ever built, and finding out which one actually won. The answer is not what you think, and it will change how you see every infrastructure project your government ever builds. Spain, the biggest network in Europe. Here is the stat that stops people cold. Spain, not France, not Germany, not Japan, has the longest high-speed rail network in Europe. Second longest in the world, behind only China. Over 3,900 kilometers of dedicated high-speed track. For a country with Spain's economy, that number is almost impossible to explain. But Spain didn't stop at building a great network. They kept building and building, until critics started using a phrase that became infamous: high-speed lines to nowhere. There is a station in Spain, Requena Utiel, reported to handle fewer than 10 passengers a day on some routes. 10 passengers for a station that cost hundreds of millions to construct. Spain used EU structural funds to build infrastructure across regions that economically could never justify it. Ambition became excess. Vision became waste. The lines are there. The passengers, in many cases, are not. France. Fewer lines, every one profitable. France made the opposite choice. They connected the biggest cities first: Paris, Lyon, Marseille, Bordeaux, Strasbourg. Every line had to prove itself financially before it was built. The TGV network covers 2,800 kilometers, less than Spain, but every kilometer is working. Every seat is earning. The TGV network is more profitable per kilometer than Spain's AVE, less ambition on paper, smarter strategy in practice. Spain built more, France built smarter. Which philosophy do you think was right? This argument has been running for 20 years. Comment below. I want your take. The roots. What this means for real people Spain. A country redrawn. You can wake up in Madrid, eat breakfast at home, take the AVE, arrive in Barcelona before lunch, close a business deal, eat paella by the sea, and be back in Madrid before midnight. Millions of people do exactly this every single week. It is not commuting. It is a completely new way of living inside a country. The Madrid-Barcelona route, 621 kilometers in 2 hours 30 minutes, destroyed domestic aviation on that corridor. Flights went from 70% market share to under 30% in under a decade. Airlines could not compete. They stopped trying. Other key routes: Madrid to Seville, Madrid to Valencia, Madrid to Malaga. The network spreads from the capital like a spider web. Fast, direct, efficient. France, a network plugged into Europe. France built connections. Paris to Lyon, 427 kilometers in 2 hours. Paris to Marseille, 3 hours 20 minutes. Paris to Bordeaux, just 2 hours since 2017. When that Bordeaux line opened, property prices in Bordeaux jumped almost immediately. Living in Bordeaux and working in Paris stopped being madness. It became a lifestyle choice for thousands of people. And France goes further. The Eurostar, built on TGV technology, puts London to Paris at 2 hours 15 minutes under the English Channel. Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, Italy, all connected. The TGV is plugged into Europe in a way Spain's AVE, until very recently, simply was not. Spain built the fastest domestic network. France built the most connected international one. The passenger experience, what it actually feels like, on the AVE, precision and silence. 3 classes: Turista, Preferente, Club. Wide seats, generous legroom, quiet zones where phone use is restricted and silence is taken seriously. The train runs so mechanically smooth, so obsessively engineered, that staff place a full glass of water on your table at 300 kilometers per hour as a party trick. The water stays completely still. You are crossing Spain at aircraft speed, and the water does not move. The AVE feels engineered. Every detail controlled, every second measured, it is precision turned into a transport experience. On the TGV, Atmosphere and Soul 2 classes, first and second, the Euro Duplex gives you a choice. Lower deck for privacy and quiet, upper deck for panoramic countryside views. The cafe bar is real, the coffee is real, the wine is real, because France decided long ago that a journey should feel like something, not just get you somewhere, not just...
The TGV feels lived in, warm, social. There is energy on a French train that is different from the silence of the AVE. Neither is wrong. They are just two countries expressing themselves at 300 kilometers per hour. Both have free Wi-Fi. Both have power at every seat. Both have luggage space. The difference is not in the features. The difference is in the feeling. Spain feels engineered. France feels lived in. That one line is the whole story. The tickets. How cheap can it get Spain? Competition broke the price. In 2021, Spain did something radical. They opened the AVE to competition. 3 operators now fight for your seat on key routes: Renfe, Iryo, and Ouigo España. The result? Madrid to Barcelona from €9. 9 euros. For the price of a coffee and a pastry, you cross half the country at 300 kilometers per hour. When was the last time a flight cost you €9, including the taxi to the airport, the check-in queue, the security line, and the middle seat next to someone eating tuna? France. Budget. TGV is real. France has Ouigo. The budget. TGV brand. Paris to Lyon from €10. Standard tickets, €30 to €150. Business class above €200. Both systems use airline-style pricing. Book 2 months early, and you pay almost nothing. Book the week before, and you pay full price. The lesson is the same on both networks. Time is money, and early is always cheaper. The track, moving mountains to build. This Spain's track, built through the impossible. To build Spain's network, engineers didn't just lay track, they moved mountains. The Iberian Peninsula is one of the most geographically brutal landscapes in Europe. Plateaus, peaks, gorges, valleys so deep the bottom disappears from view. The Madrid to Barcelona line alone passes through over 35 tunnels. Workers drilled through solid rock for years. Viaducts were built over valleys that had never seen a bridge. Spain's construction cost per kilometer is among the highest in Europe, and the result is some of the most spectacular rail infrastructure ever built. France's track, strategic and efficient France built on more forgiving terrain on its early corridors. The flat Rhone Valley toward Lyon, the plains toward Bordeaux. This kept early costs lower and made the financial case easier to win. Later lines through Provence and the Basque region required serious tunneling, but France always ran the numbers first. Build where it makes sense. Connect what is already busy. The track serves the strategy, not the other way around. Both countries use the same European digital signaling system, managing train movements at 300 plus kilometers per hour with millimeter precision. Without it, this speed is not just dangerous, it is impossible. The best engineering is the kind you never notice. On both networks, you never notice it. Why any of this matters? Spain's case, access for everyone. Spain's network connected cities that had never been well connected. Smaller regions got faster access to Madrid, to jobs, to hospitals, to airports. For the ordinary Spanish citizen, the AVE wasn't just a fast train, it was a quality of access. The right to reach your capital in under 3 hours, regardless of where you were born. That has value that doesn't show up on a profit sheet. France's case, a blueprint the world is copying. France proved the model works financially. A high-speed train produces up to 90% fewer CO2 emissions per passenger than flying the same route. If every short-haul flight in Europe was replaced by trains like TGV, aviation emissions would collapse. The UK is debating it. The US is arguing about it. India is building it. Saudi Arabia is building it. The entire world looked at what France built and said, "We want that." Should every country be connected by high-speed rail by 2050? Is it already too late to start? Drop your answer below. I read every comment. The real winner. So who wins? A VE or TGV? Speed. A VE wins. 350 kilometers per hour in daily operation. Record. TGV wins. 574.8 kilometers per hour, a number that should not exist. Network size. AV wins. 3,900 kilometers, longest in Europe. Profitability. TGV wins. Every line earning. International connections. TGV wins. Plugged into Europe. Cheapest ticket. AVE wins. €9 Madrid to Barcelona. Passenger experience. Draw. Different souls. Both extraordinary. But the real winner? It's not Spain. It's not France. The real winner is every country now looking at these two systems and realizing this is what transport is supposed to be. The rest of the world watched Spain and France compete against each other for 40 years, and the prize went to everyone watching. Have you ridden the AVE or the TGV? Which one? Which city? Which felt different? And how? Tell me in the comments. And if you haven't tried either, which one would you book first? And where would you go? If you like understanding how the world actually works, not just watching it, subscribe. That is all we do here. Go deeper. Find the story behind the story. Ask the question everyone else skips. The next train is already at the platform. Don't miss it.